Welcome to the Scott Townsend Show, brought to you by Dietzo Man Productions.
It's really not crazy. Well, the miscommunication was he was weighing out the rice dry at 200 grams and then cooking it. He was eating about 600 grams of rice.
Hey, welcome back to the Scott Townsend Show. Today I have with me a repeat customer, repeat guest, a friend of the podcast, Nolan Townsend. Nolan, how's it going?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Nolan, he's a Texas A&M grad with a degree in
finance and economics.
Finance and economics. He's also the general manager at Social Lounge.
Social Lounge and soon to come restaurant as well, Cajun restaurant called Poche's.
Oh, cool. So yeah, the most popular night spot in College Station is run by Nolan, and because of Nolan, it is the most popular. Nolan and his customers and his employees. Yeah. So yeah.
Right.
So anyway, here's the idea. I had the thought experiment. You know, if you've seen Nolan on the show before, we talked about physical fitness and his journey in bodybuilding and entering these contests, and he's done very well for himself in that area. And I thought I'd have him back on the show to just talk about, continue the conversation on health and fitness, find out how he did in his last competition. And for those of you listening, watching, maybe we're going to do an experiment where he tells me what to do virtually, or I'm going to be a remote client. And the idea is he will tell me what to do to improve my 59-year-old self and see when we get through with all this, how it goes. So, before you start any kind of regimen, you should always consult with your doctor first, blah, blah, blah. Don't take my word for it. But, if you want to do something good for yourself, you might want to get checked out by your doctor before you do anything else. And so with that in mind, that little disclaimer out of the way, what'd you have for breakfast this morning, Nolan?
This morning, I had 75 grams of organic sprouted oats with 50 grams of blueberries and 30 grams of flax seeds, and then 3 whole eggs, and then 8 ounces of liquid egg whites.
So so it's obvious you weigh all this stuff out.
Yeah.
Or measure it out in some way. Okay. Yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I had blueberries this morning, but I don't know how many blueberries I had. I just dumped a bunch of them out. So yeah. I can see that changing. You went into a bodybuilding contest not too long ago. Tell us a little bit about that journey.
So yeah, I just did the Branch Warren Classic. That was on June 24th in Houston, Texas. That was a really, really cool show. I competed in men's physique. And there's 3 divisions you can do: true novice, that's first timers, and there's novice, that's those, who haven't qualified for nationals yet, which I haven't. So I competed in that class. But then there's open, and that's the class where everybody can compete. Anybody can compete to try to get that national qualification. So that's going to be the most advanced class in classic. In men's physique, I did open, and I took 3rd overall at the show. So
cool.
Yeah, it was really cool. There's a guy there. His name on Instagram is Swole Ricketts. He took 1st, and then immediately got picked up by Gymshark to be an athlete. And I mean, he was a work of art. I mean, it was cool competing against that guy.
Wow. Yeah. And your first competition, was that a year ago?
Yeah, it was right at a year ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With each competition, I guess you learn something different each time. What was the first time you went into it? What was your big takeaway the first time?
The first big takeaway is, I think, everybody talks about this thing called, peak week, the week before the show, where you super dehydrate, and then last minute just, eat all these carbs real quick right before you go on stage, and try to do this like magic to make your body look amazing all of a sudden. And there's a lot of hype around peak week protocols. You can just get really dehydrated, or you can hold too much water. You can have the opposite effect, trying to kind of outpace your brain's hydration ideas isn't the best. This year I just kind of had a lot less intense, I would say a lot less unnatural protocol. I yeah, the 18 hours before I stepped on stage, I dropped water lower than usual, but nothing to a dangerous level, and nothing crazy, nothing that was miserable at all. And stepped on stage and just performed, just had much better results than last year, much better look. Last year I dehydrated too hard. I got on stage and I couldn't feel, I was trying to do my poses and flex, and I couldn't like connect with those muscles. I was so dehydrated. I was having trouble up there.
Wow.
Yeah. This year I had no problem pumping up backstage, got up there and, did it just like I practiced. So no problems.
And so with each competition, you learn these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely trial and error, and everybody's different. Some people might be able to perform well, super dehydrated, and maybe, but for me, I learned that, I just did a lot better going at it, just a conservative route.
So back up just a little bit. You touched on slightly last time you were on the show. Why did you get into this? I mean, you've always been pretty fit dude for the most part, but what switch was flipped and got you interested in health and fitness, going like all the way with it?
Well, like you said, I've always been in sports. I've always been in athletics, and I've always enjoyed lifting weights. And I've always thought bodybuilding was something that I could be interested in and whatnot. But around COVID time, when we were all locked in our houses, there wasn't a whole lot going on, but what there was a whole lot of was preserved food and beer, and movies to watch, and that's a really good recipe to pack on the pounds. So
yeah,
that's what happened to me. I probably normally walked around at 15% body fat, which is what they say is really healthy. At the end of COVID, when everything started opening back up, my friends, I'm getting phone calls, hey, let's go to the pool. And I'm like, oh yeah, I can't make it, and another week goes by, oh yeah, I can't make it. And my buddy's like, man, how come you're not coming to the pool? You're the guy, like, we need you out here. And I was like, man, I said out loud, I was honest with him, I was honest with myself at the same time, I guess. I was like, I don't like the way I look with my shirt off, man. That's why I'm not coming to the pool. And so then when I said it out loud, I was like, man, he goes, well, then change that. And so I have
simple as that.
Simple as that. So I got a lot of buddies at work, my security guys, a lot of them are bodybuilders and coaches even. And so the next day I came to work, I went to my friend Dean, who's a IFBB pro, Dean Murray. Said, hey, can you help me, let's put a diet together. I want to get back in the gym. I want to lose the weight. And so he sent me to go get my body fat tested at, a supplement shop. They got, most of them have these scales. You just take your socks off and step on it. Make sure you're not wearing any jewelry. And it tells you. So I was like, I want to say 22 point something, almost 23% body fat when I started. And I'd never been up there like that. And so he helped me get back down into shape. I think our first goal is get back down to 15%. And then we ended up getting down to 10. And then he was like, well, you're doing good at this, doing good at following protocol. You should you ever thought about doing a show? And I had such a good time seeing those results, I was like, yeah, let's do it, you know. And then after going through that whole process of doing a show and the everything, I fell in love with the process and the discipline. You know, to me, I really enjoyed having structure again. You know,
That's cool. So I'm gonna throw up on the screen here a picture of you and your competition there, your first competition. So you kind of had a before and after shot here of you, uh, the before and after when you were on your processed food and beer diet versus winning the coming up second, third, whichever one it was.
yeah.
In the competition. That's amazing. Simply amazing. And you said it took about a year, if I remember right.
Yep.
Oh man. So yeah, I'm not going to be up on any stage in a year. I can tell you that right now. Do they have 60-year-old people doing this kind of stuff?
They do. It's called the master's class. A master's is 35 and up. So you have various ages. Dean is 52. If he's not 52, he's 51. One of the two. And he is jacked out of his mind.
Before we continue, the best way to support the Scott Townsend Show is by telling friends, family members, and becoming a patron at patreon.com/the Scott Townsend Show. So yeah, we have awesome perks, personalized videos, personalized episodes, all kinds of cool stuff at different tier levels. Patreon allows us to do the show full-time, part-time, anytime. So thank you so much for your support. Do you need so let's talk about kind of moving into the nutrition fitness here. You know, one of the questions I had was, do you take on clients now that you kind of know what you're doing?
Yes, I do.
I shouldn't have let that be a yes or no question. Tell me the kind of clients you sign up there, Nolan.
The kind of clients, my specialty is helping people lose fat, not just lose weight, but lose fat.
I have always thought to myself, you know, focus on losing fat. And then not too long ago, I thought, what if I started developing muscle, which then in turn burns fat? I haven't really approached it that way. Am I thinking right?
Yeah. So so you have a basal metabolic rate. So based on, you know, your age, weight, and activity level, and muscle counts. So that's your BMR, basal metabolic rate. So refer to it as that. Muscle, you know, studies are showing that your muscle mass contributes 10 to 15% of that. So I mean, to theoretically, yes, to build more muscle, you could burn more calories at a rested state, and you do. It's factual, but how much impact that has isn't as much. But staying in the gym and working out does help, because when you're in a caloric deficit, when you're in a diet, you know, losing weight, this is really important, when you lift weights, it tells your brain, hey, let's keep this tissue because he's using it. Let's get rid of something else. Whereas if you just cut calories and just do cardio, you just start losing tissue in general. So you're going to lose fat, yes, but you're also going to lose muscle for sure. And that, you know, like, so in contest prep for me, when I'm getting ready for a show, you know, when we're in these crazy calorie deficits, I don't want to lift heavy. That's the last thing I want to do, but you got to do it to keep on your lean tissue. Otherwise it can kind of go as well as the other things.
Oh, so I wasn't okay. So I was kind of half there.
Yeah. Well, it's still true what you thought. It's just not as impact as much people think.
So what's more impactful, fitness or nutrition, when it comes to getting rid of the fat?
Nutrition, like, a lot more important. You need, you can actually, you know, depending on where I start with a client, you know, I might start right away. You know, if they're if they're 15% body fat and they want to get down to, they want to have it be ripped and it be 8% for summer, I'm going to put them in the gym immediately, and put them on a diet. But if somebody is, above 20, then, I don't know what their vitals are and things like that. So first I want to put them on a diet and we'll just start there. And, some light, like, hey, let's do a morning walk for 20 minutes, like a nice morning walk, before breakfast. If you want to be ambitious, but nothing more than that to start.
Huh. So yeah, to get an idea of percentage of body fat, I go to a health food store, or what'd you say?
Like a supplement store. So like
GNC or
yeah, a lot of gyms have those scales now too. GNC, I haven't seen them have one, but all the mom and pop shops around me have them. I don't. We have a store called Rocks here. All the mom and pop shops have them, but a lot of gyms will too. So Gold's Gym, things like that. They'll have, a lot of times they'll have like a device you can hold and it sends electrodes through your hands, or they'll have a scale you can step on with no socks. It sends electrodes through your feet, kind of thing. Most gyms will have that.
Oh, okay. So then it'll accurately give me an idea of my percentage of body fat.
Yeah, you just want to go into that fasted and not having just worked out, because that can also kind of throw off your results. So like fasted in the morning, go up there and get it done.
Man, my percentage is going to be really high. I can tell you right now. I probably should have had that checked out before we did this episode so I could tell you what it was, but yeah, I'll text you later. How do you assess new clients? When you get a new client, what's your assessment like of those folks?
Like what kind of information I want to know?
Yeah.
So I want to know, I need to know first off, height, weight, and age, and activity level, and their job. Job and activity level are kind of the same thing. I want to know, like, what are you doing all day? How active is that? And then, but some people have desk jobs, 8 to 5, but then but they do fast cardio in the morning and they hit the gym, after work, and then they, walk the dog when they get home. So that could, even though it's a sedentary job, to me, that's still pretty active. But then some people have desk jobs and they don't exercise. So that kind of helps me aim where I need to put their calories to start out with.
And I guess you want to know what they're eating.
Yes. Yeah, I want to know what their habits are, if they have anything. What's important to know is, how much calories they've been taking in, kind of roughly. But the biggest thing is, like, I'll kind of already know what I want them to do. So, as long as they're not just consuming, a bunch of alcohol, then, there should be no issues.
What's a bunch of alcohol?
Bunch of alcohol would be drinking more than 3 times a week. And like a glass of wine with dinner doesn't count. I'm talking about drinking, more than 3 times a week. Yeah.
Yeah. Tipping the bottle.
Because I see that and I see it. I'm like, okay, I can give you whatever diet, but I can tell you that's not a habit you're going to break today, and I'm not going to be able to control how much calories you're consuming when you go out drinking,
Yeah. How do you track fitness goals?
So, with my clients, it's I think I have them send in check-ins. So we'll start off, and body weight as well, and then we'll do body scans to find the fat percentage. But I don't like to do body scans like all the time, because people want to go in and check every couple days. It's like, hey, come on, like let's work first and then come back in 3 weeks and see what we did.
Yeah.
But check-ins, so like every Monday, we have a set of, like, for my competing clients, they'll have a set of poses that they do the same pose every time, fasted. And then, so as the weeks go by, we can see the differences. And week 1, after a couple of weeks, we may you're not going to see a difference really from week 1 to week 2, but week 1 to week 6, we can start to highlight, hey, look, we're changing right here. I'm seeing more definition in your shoulders, or, you know, wherever we're looking. But then with lifestyle clients with losing weight, I mean, it's pretty easy, because it's like this, their weight is dropping on the scale, and their clothes are fitting a lot looser. And I'm getting text messages like, oh my goodness, this is crazy, you know? So yeah.
The phrase losing weight, I don't know if you and I talked about this before, but I think this is why people can't keep weight off, is because of the term losing weight. And I'll tell you what I mean. If you told me you lost your keys, what that tells me is you're probably going to be looking for your keys until you find them. If you lose your wallet, you're frantic. You're trying to find your wallet. You know, you're looking everywhere, and then you finally get it.
Yep.
Losing weight is kind of the same verbiage, and it's a mindset where I've lost something and I need to get it back. So I thought, what if you changed it up and said, I'm getting rid of weight, like I'm getting rid of the trash, or I'm getting rid of something. So in your mind, you're thinking, yeah, I'm literally, you know, it's going away from me. Whereas when you say when you lose something, you're always trying to get it back. I don't know.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So in your mind, you know, just rewrite the script. And instead of losing weight, we're going to get rid of weight, just like you get rid of the trash.
Yeah, we're writing off 10 pounds.
Yeah, there you go. No more losing weight.
Yeah, I like that.
That was free. Anyway. So do you create meals for these folks? I mean, do you write up a meal plan or not?
I do. Yes. So yeah, it's the same amount of food, and like, so for most people I'll do 4 to 5 meals a day, depending on what they're doing. You know, like if they're hitting the gym 3 to 5 times a week, then we'll just do 4 meals a day or something easy, you know. So you don't find yourself constantly running to the microwave heating something up. I'm a competitor, so I do 7 meals a day. My clients that compete do 7 meals a day, but obviously that's ridiculous if that's not your hobby. But
7 meals a day, you're always eating.
Oh yeah. Eating's a job. Yeah. And so what I'll do is I'll have have their breakfast meal, which is, usually something consisting of, just a good protein source, good carbs and fats, get something to start the day. And then they'll have 3 meals during the day, and it'll be like white meat, red meat, depending on it depends on the client. But let's say like we had white meat, so that means in this meal you can do chicken, shrimp, fish, anything in that regard, with with a veggie and some either rice or sweet potato, a clean carbohydrate source.
So when you have a client, with your clients, what's your preferred style of encouragement? Everybody responds differently, I guess, but what's your preferred style of?
That's a good question. I like to cater to what their goals are. So, a lot of people want to get in shape for the summertime. So, I like to kind of remind them of what they're gonna look like as they're sticking to the goals. And I really like to send them an encouraging text message as we're getting close to the weekend. Because the weekend is when lots of people, like, I get it, they want to blow off their stress for the week. So that's when they go out. That's when they have, decide to spend too much money or have one too many beers or, whatnot. So it's like just a little reminder. It's like, hey, if you can get through this weekend in a like an adult, you're going to be closer to your goal, and you're going to be so happy on Monday, and you're going to feel ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Moving forward. And, and what happens a lot too is with my clients in this is they save a lot of money.
Are you are you one of these guys in your face? Are you empathetic, or are you caring, or are you drill sergeant, or are you David Goggins, or are you, what
I would say, caring but structured with my lifestyle clients, with my weight, fat riding off clients. And then David Goggins with my competitor clients.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I want to see, like, I have them send me pictures I want a picture of the treadmill screen when they're done with their cardio in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And as depending on how far we are away from a show, I might want check-in photos every other day, but
that's cool.
Yeah, because when they get really lean, I'll be able to tell if they cheated just by looking at the picture of them.
Huh.
Yeah.
So here's another one. Do your clients need supplements or equipment before they start?
No. No, the only supplements that I would recommend, and this doesn't sound any fun, but multivitamins, just to make sure. Multivitamin it's not going to do anything for you, but in case you're deficient in a kind of vitamin, which is causing your body not function properly, a multivitamin will kind of bring you back up to speed.
So no crazy.
Yeah, and I'm a fan of caffeine if you can tolerate. Some people don't like stimulants or whatnot, but coffee in the morning with your cardio is a good idea.
What if I don't see results? What if your clients don't see results? You ever have that happen where they're just like, no, it's not working?
I haven't had that happen. But if that's not, if they're not seeing results, then it's just time to go back to the drawing board and figure out. It's probably they're not having as much activity as they said they did, or they're having a lot more activity than they think they are having.
Mm-hmm.
And then a lot of times there's miscommunications. I had a client one time who I was wanting to have 200 grams of rice in his meals. He's a bigger guy. He was like, man, it's a lot of food. And he was still losing weight because, we were taking him off of all this processed food and stuff that had been eating previously. But 200 grams, he's like, this is so much food. I'm thinking, it's really not crazy. Well, the miscommunication is he was weighing out the rice dry at 200 grams and then cooking it. So he was eating about 600 grams of rice,
Oh my gosh.
Yes, this is crazy. But I mean, moral of the story on that one, he was still losing body fat every week. And that moral story there is he was actually consuming more calories than he was prior. But since it was off of, this, just this habitual processed, food that's so inflammatory, his body was just functioning better and he was still losing weight. It's crazy. But when he went down to the 200, he really lost weight.
Give me a success story. What's one of your best success stories besides yourself and reaching competition level and getting a body like we just saw a while ago?
I just had a recent one. I started with him, and he's actually pretty knowledgeable in the gym, as far as working out. Mm-hmm. And I could tell. I met him at the gym about 6 months ago, and he was 21% body fat. He's busy with school. He's a real good kid, so he's got limited time to be in the gym, but he's disciplined. He's there every day. He works out hard, and he was asking me, he wants to lose weight and he doesn't want to sacrifice a lot of muscle and whatnot. So I just put him on a 10% reduction in his carbohydrates, got his diet, got a structure for him. And then we found out what he was eating, and we took 10% away from his carbohydrates, and then introduced fasted cardio in the morning, 5 days a week. And this is a really light protocol. It's pretty easy to do. You're not going to be super tired cutting your carbs by 10%. It's not, and you're not gonna be starving everywhere, every day. It's just a discipline thing. Well, he came to me a couple of days ago. He's all pumped. He got his body scan back, and he's only lost 2 pounds, but he has gone from 21% body fat to 13% body fat.
Whoa.
So he's gotten stronger. He's maintained his muscle mass. He's a very healthy kid, very disciplined. And he looks great,
Huh.
So
wow. Discipline. Oh man.
Yeah. That's a real 6 months, I could, that's I like the speed of that,
Mm-hmm.
That's a very healthy speed. And I guarantee you he's not going to bounce back to 21%. When I see people go from 21% to 13 in 5 weeks, I'm just like, okay, all right. Congratulations. Let's hope that stays.
Be like a boomerang, come right back at him.
Yeah. And
Go
kind of
ahead.
going along with what you said, of we're not, losing weight, expecting it to come back, or kind of like, it's something that comes back. Is one of the things with that is, and why I like this gradual 21 to 13 over 6 months is that it's a lifestyle change. Being a different body type now is a lifestyle change. What I mean by that is like, what got you to a certain weight is being used to eating a certain amount of food. And so like people, what they do is they stick to this, stick to a program for a little bit, and then they get to this lower weight. And then they kind of like hit the destination. I've made it, and they just kind of like fall back into their habits of eating what they're used to seeing. They're used to seeing a certain amount of food in front of them, and they eat it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. You kind of have to teach your brain, like, this is the new amount of calories that we're eating to stay this size. And you have to stay there, and it's hard for everybody, after a show, it's hard for me to not overeat, because I've been starving myself like for 3 months, like starving. And, you're technically allowed to eat now. It's hard not to go out of control.
Yeah. Whew. You, okay. So you've got a lot of people out there listening, watching this episode, thousands of people watching, listening. So, if you were to tell me 59 years old, probably coming in at 290, what do I do for work? Well, actually, I'm really active. I'm on my feet most of the day. I'm, and the, a lot of the work that I do is lifting, a lot of it is lifting doors. And these doors, when you put them up, I don't know how much they weigh, probably 40, 50 pounds, maybe 60, depends on what's, anyway.
Yeah.
But you do that for half a day, and, then you're walking around and on your feet. I usually hit my steps per day, no problem. My stand-up goals, my Apple Watch has the 3 rings. I usually close 2 of those pretty successfully every day. The high energy 30-minute heart rate, elevating it, not so much. I eat pretty good. I mean, in the morning I have spinach, 2 eggs, 1 or 2 pieces of toast with a lot of cream cheese on it, and blueberries, drink orange juice, coffee. Lunch is, sometimes a Weight Watcher dinner, or maybe a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, or, it's pretty nothing to write home about, I guess. And then at dinner time, we do really well. Usually protein, steamed vegetables, or salad. We were eating a lot of potatoes there for a while. Potato chips, potato salad, potato, mashed potatoes. I was just turning into a big potato. But we stopped that. As a matter of fact, we've stopped all gluten breads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wine at night, and It's, probably if I told you like 2 beers at night, bottle of wine each night, every night, it's probably not a good thing, is it?
2 beers and a bottle of wine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's a lot. Well, it's a lot of calories. That's a lot of calories. Yeah, and those are insulin hormone spiking calories. And what insulin does is store nutrients as fat. Well, stores nutrients in different ways, but at night, it can store them in a non-productive way.
Yeah. So I think I told you everything I need. Oh, and a piece of dark chocolate each night.
Yeah.
And then sometimes late at night it'll be a snack of some sort, like a piece of chicken or. So what do you, based on what I've told you, what would you recommend I start with? And I have my lower back on my right side hurts, sometimes sciatic nerve, and I'm not limber at all. I mean, I'm like a piece of frozen taffy. I mean, it's just ready to snap.
Yeah, is that a Townsend thing? Because I'm the same way.
It must be. So, I know I need to stretch, but I want to get in better shape. I want to feel better, getting older, things starting to not break down, but at least slow down a little bit, And this 59 years old, there's not too many more years ahead of me. So it would be fun to do something like this and just see what I could do.
Yeah. So
recommendations.
Change number 1 is in the morning. Contrary to popular belief, these any fruit juices are not good for you, and they have refined carbohydrate sugars in them. So I would cut out the orange juice, and just you can replace that with a sugar-free any kind of sugar-free drink, or sparkling water, Topo Chico, something like that. Still kind of fun to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then because that's like 30 grams of sugar is really the biggest enemy in losing weight. And depending on how much orange juice, somewhere between probably 30 and 50 grams of sugar, just right there.
So that's the key to getting rid of weight.
Mm-hmm. And then what alcohol is just like an even more like because sugar spikes insulin, and the only thing that alcohol spikes it like even a little bit more. So those are the things we try to stay away from. But so I would cut out the orange juice in the morning, replace it with something else that doesn't have sugar, and then on the toast, I would do like a raw almond butter. It would still taste pretty good. It's not going to have as much processed things in it. And then, but like the biggest thing I would do, just overall, is everything that you eat in this, in the beginning here, would just do something that you cooked. So like the TV dinner's got to go. And so like what I do is I just, I get 2 pounds, 3 pounds, depending on how much I'm going to have that week, of chicken tenderloins at, at the grocery store, and you just bake them. And I'll, put through like, so for your lunches is when you're having TV dinners.
Yeah.
So you
usually,
get some, Tupperwares, small Tupperwares. They're the same size as the TV dinners. And you just prep, a pound or 2 of those chicken tenderloins, and put in, we'd have to look at like your whole, I have to do my math on how much calories you need per day, but somewhere between 5 and 6 ounces probably of chicken. And
so I'm like 6'4", 6'3.5".
Yeah. And then we'd put some, some broccoli or some green beans in there, and some rice for your lunch meal, and then you would just take that, with you wherever you're going to have that meal. And replace that TV dinner. That right there is going to make a big difference. And then, at I would
Even the
say,
Weight Watcher dinner, it's a Weight Watcher TV dinner type of thing. It's
yeah, it's
still not good.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. And then at night, I would start by just weaning off. So I'd X out one beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Done. X out one beer.
Yep.
And then do that until we talk next.
Yeah. That and that's all I had. I think that's all I would do.
What about exercise?
So you're on your feet all day.
Yeah.
Working.
Mm-hmm.
What is I would let's do a walk in the morning. So a 20-minute walk in the morning before breakfast.
Okay.
So
20-minute walk.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. You're going easy on me. Seems like.
Yeah. Well, it's gonna
just you wait, huh?
Huh?
Just you wait, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. You're gonna see that like the simple alterations can make. Yeah. Now here, like the only thing that could slow something like this down is snacking in between these things.
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention the Butterfinger, like mid-afternoon or something when your blood sugar starts going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something what probably I would do, like, I'll have to figure out how many calories, which is I can do pretty quick, how much you need. And you're probably just not getting enough calories out of your meals. And what that causes you to do is reach for convenient packaged things, which are sugar and trans fat filled foods, which cause you to store weight. I mean, that is just science, just math. So I you may even feel like you're eating more when I put you on this diet. But it'll just be like you eat the meals and that's it. There's no like snack in between, but you'll realize that you're probably eating more food per meal than you've been eating.
So do you ever get tired of eating the same thing over and over?
Yes. Yes, I do. But
I mean, I guess you're eating the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I am. So
how do you fight that?
So for me, I just kind of deal with it. But like I said, I'm a competing client. This is my thing. And so I don't really care about what something tastes like at all. And I don't expect any other people to be that way. So, so as far as like lifestyle clients, we switch it up. There's a lot more leeway things we can do in there. And things like, when people get to a place where they feel they like the way they look and they want to stick around there, just to make it realistic, I'll be like, hey, okay, it's Wednesday, go to go to the burger joint, get a burger and fries, and then do it again on Sunday. These are things I don't do because I compete. Right. Because I'm trying to stay year round 10% and under.
Yeah.
And which, for lifestyle clients, usually the goal is around 15%. That's, known as the healthiest, and it is a great place to be. Yeah.
15%, huh?
Yeah. 15% for men. And then it's around 21% for women. It's kind of like the peak health spot to be.
Huh. Okay. Well,
hormones are functioning properly. You have a good figure and everything is just great.
So I guess I'll have to get my fat measured, and
yeah,
I hope they have a big enough machine for me to
And it's good too. It's good to get fat measured because in the beginning, maybe you're like, man, I don't see any results. Right. But hey, we went from 29% to 26, and you do the math on that. That's 7 pounds of fat. 7 pounds of fat is, if I could hold it, is like this, And so, it's like it's a way to see, like, it's a fact, like you're losing fat, and then it's not long after that you start seeing it in the mirror.
Well, Nolan, I really appreciate your time and your insight, and I'm excited to do this experiment and have you back on and go through this whole fitness and nutrition. There's a lot of people out there that are wanting to look better. We're all bombarded with billboards and magazine covers and,
Yes.
telling us how we should look. And, I just think it would, people just want to feel better and look a little better. I'm not going to be, I don't know. I'm not going to be Brad Pitt, but I'm Scott Townsend. I'm going to be the best Scott Townsend I can be. So,
Yep.
It'll be interesting to see how this experiment goes. And I'm glad to have you on the show and kind of go through this journey with us.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions, you can send them to scott@scotttownsend.info. If you have questions about anything that Nolan mentioned, send me the questions and we'll go through some of the questions in the next episode. If anybody has any questions, let me know. Write them down, send them in. We'll talk about them. If someone wants to get in touch with you, Nolan, where do they go?
You can go to my Instagram. Let me see what that's called. It's just Nolan Townsend, NOLANTOWNSEND.
All right. On Instagram.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, anything else you want to mention, talk about? What's on your mind?
Just if anything, don't get swayed by the advertisements and everything on these weight loss pills and this and that and the other. Just watch your sugars and get plenty of sleep and increase your cardio. You can't go wrong with that. Step number one. But the supplement industry for losing weight is just a money grab.
Yeah. So. You mentioned sleep. We should have a whole episode just about sleep.
Yeah.
Because I guess that has more to do with than we realize.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's pretty tough to lose weight also if you're not getting, enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I realize that people are busy. Some people, including myself, sometimes don't have the opportunity to have 8 hours of sleep at night, but at least get 6.
Right. Yeah.
At least get 6.
All right, man. Well, that's about it. Thanks for stopping by again, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
All right.
So for Nolan Townsend, this is Scott Townsend. Thanks for watching and listening to the Scott Townsend Show. Have a great day. Everything's going to be all right. And we'll talk to you later.
The Scott Townsend Show is a Dietzo Man production. For more episodes, visit the Scott Townsend Show YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
The Scott Townsend Show.
Джанет, обязательно оглянитесь через плечо, прежде чем перестроиться.